And good afternoon. Welcome back to Burn a Flick. I am Zach, here along with Jonah
Hey.
and M.
Hi.
And today we will be talking about the movie Collateral, starring Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, along with the infamous Jada Pinkett Smith.
Bum, bum, bum.
I was wondering whose name you're gonna drop. I was for a second there. I thought you were gonna say Jason Statham, because he shows up for a second, and I'm just like, that's Jason Statham, and he doesn't show up for the rest of the movie.
Which is weird because at this point he's already a big actor.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
So I did a little research, and by little research I mean I looked at the wiki page. And on the wiki page, so the director of The Transporter said that Jason Statham's cameo in Collateral is his character from The Transporter.
Oh,
That's cool.
Yes.
the Transporter multiverse.
The Transporter Collateral.
Has anybody
Multiverse.
seen Transporter Refueled?
No, I've only seen the first one. Yeah.
Oh, because there's four of them. Well, three with Jason Statham, one without Jason Statham. Had the guy who played Francis from Deadpool.
Who's Francis?
Remember Francis? He's the
Fat kid? Oh wait, no.
Oh wait,
No.
Ajax, right?
Oh no,
Ajax.
the
Main
villain.
villain?
The villain.
Yes, the
A
villain.
very
Yeah, I remember.
forgettable villain
Yeah,
of
like what
Deadpool.
kind of villain has a
Yes.
name like Francis?
I think that was.
remember now.
I think that was the point too. Him being the forgettable guy or something like that.
But yeah, no, I thought you were gonna say like Jason Statham or Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem is in this.
Oh yeah, he's also in, but
And,
he's not
like-
really. He's
yeah, no,
there.
but his he's just really good at delivering lines.
There's a
Yes.
lot of major actors that are just kind of sprinkled in there.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
I-
When I saw. Yeah, sorry. You speak. I'm sorry.
That was wild. I was not expecting him to just kind of show up, almost kind of. It's like he hopped out of Training Day.
Yes. When I saw Mark Ruffalo, I'm thinking for a second, I was some
For yes.
gangster
I
guy.
didn't recognize.
And
him.
then when I heard him speak, not when I looked at his face, when I heard him speak, I'm like, that's Mark Ruffalo's voice. It's
Yeah.
a very tired, raspy voice.
Yes.
Well, I can't do his things. I have to hear his voice to imitate it right now, but I can hear it in my head.
But no, I thought the exact same thing when I saw him. I'm like, dude, that nameless like gangster cop guy looks like Mark Ruffalo.
Mhm. It was like a real,
Isn't that funny?
a really big contrast between like him playing another Los Angeles detective in Zodiac.
Oh,
He
yes.
was in Zodiac. I forgot about
And
Zodiac.
Robert Downey Jr. was a reporter, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith. I didn't know that was her, to be honest. I had to look it up.
I also looked it up to verify. I also think, is that Jada Pinkett Smith? Because I can't recognize her with the hair.
2005.
2005.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, almost 20 years, actually. I mean, close to it, I guess.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I liked how you have no idea what kind of movie this was going to be. Like, obviously, we know that there's guns in this, there's killing in this. Like, it's branded as a thrill. Like, we all know that, right? But let's say you knew nothing about this movie and you went into it, you'd have no fucking clue what this
Mhm.
movie would be about. Because, like, right out the rip, like, you see Tom Cruise and he's coming out of an airport with a briefcase. Tells you nothing. Tells you
Mhm.
absolutely. He's dressed with a suit, so you can tell he's some type of professional. And then, like, he drops the briefcase when he runs into Jason Statham. For a second there, I thought he was swapping briefcases with Jason Statham, like, stealthily. I thought that was what was happening, but obviously that's not what it was. But, like, you have no idea what this movie's doing. And like, Jada Pinkett Smith gets in Jamie Foxx's cabbie, and, like, they're having their chemistry is really good. I was very impressed
Mhm.
with because I think on paper it might be super cheesy, but the way they handled it, I was like, wow, this is working for me.
It's because Jamie Foxx is a smooth operator, man.
He is a smooth. That's true. Yeah.
He's a triple threat, right? He's a dancer, singer, and an actor.
Do it all.
He's actually a good actor. I'm gonna be honest here, and I think it's unfortunate.
I don't even think you need to say actually. Like,
Well, yeah,
he is a good actor.
that's true.
Yeah.
I'm understating like my expectations of other people. I was wondering, his name was Max in this. His name was Max in 2 other Spider-Man movies, technically,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
where it's like, why is he always named Max? You know, and
They're wrapped up in all the multiverse. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing.
this was him before he became an electrical engineer,
Yeah.
of course. And then I think here's what it is. Right? He met Tom Cruise, right? And then he was so traumatized by this, he decided, I'm gonna go into electrical engineering for some reason.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna be a total pushover because it didn't work out with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
Because she is insane.
Yes.
So this is what happens. This is why he becomes.
He went through a messy divorce, and you never want to go through a divorce with the lawyer.
Yeah.
They're gonna win.
And he had to move all the way to
New York.
Yeah.
Was it New York?
No, was it New York?
Yeah.
Well, Spider-Man's in New York.
Yeah.
True.
He had to
This-
tell.
this
He had
is
to
in
tell
Los
his
Angeles.
sick mom that he has to leave her,
Yes.
go to New York,
Oh, yeah,
drop
yeah.
his limousine plans, and become electrical
No,
engineer.
he probably told her he was migrating his limousine company to New York.
Right.
That's probably what that's probably what it was.
To go to the amazing electrical engineering schools in New York.
In New York. I mean, what I guess they have Columbia University. Sure.
Yeah. Unless he stopped somewhere else along the way and went
Yeah.
to school real quick.
This is great fan fiction we're coming up with right now.
Yes, don't steal our stuff, whatever zero people are listening right now.
I initially when I saw Tom Cruise, I didn't take it seriously because immediately with the gray hair, gray suit, I thought of George Clooney.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I'm like,
Up in the air, George Clooney, maybe.
yeah, I don't know. I just like looked at him like, is he trying to? Was it Michael Clayton? I think that's a George Clooney movie where he's like basically like super shooter guy.
Yeah.
Oh no, Michael Clayton is not
That's not a thriller
that is
shooter?
not a thriller shooter.
I don't know.
Absolutely,
I don't-
Michael Clayton's actually really good. It's like a political legal drama / thriller. Michael Clayton's actually good, but it is not Jason Bourne with with George Clooney. That's not what that movie is.
I can't imagine George Clooney doing those things. Forgive me for not remembering, but the only action movie I remember him being in really is technically From Dusk Till Dawn, even though it's not really action, it's horror.
George Clooney?
Yeah. What else is he in?
Batman.
He was Batman.
Okay.
Batman.
Sorry.
But you're right.
But he was the worst Batman.
By far, yeah. Oh, I can't really
Val
say that
Kilmer's
because
up there.
I've never seen. Well, I've never seen Val Kilmer's Batman, so I can't really speak to that.
It's up there.
Okay.
George Clooney's
But
probably.
he had nipples, though. George Clooney is the one who had nipples.
Yeah, but it's not like he wanted the nipples. Like, obviously,
It's
Joel
the-
Schumacher was like, "This bat suit. You know what this bat suit needs?
Nipples.
You know how we can upgrade the bat suit."
How him? Tell me how.
Anyway, Collateral.
Yeah, I mean, from beginning to end, there was, the build up of who Max is,
Yes,
and not really a build up of who, what was his name?
Tom Cruise's
Tom Cruise's
character,
character.
Vincent.
Vincent, yes, Vincent's name. Not really build up on Vincent who he is because that's the whole movie's about.
Mhm.
Really finding out who he is. But that Max is a guy who has a dream and he wants to stay calm and he wants to get to that dream very soon.
I still think they characterize Vincent pretty well, even though they don't really I guess spend too much time actively fleshing his character out like intentionally. I feel like there are clues left here and there that kind of paints a picture of like what the fuck, like where this guy came from. It's so one of the first things that I noticed that I guess hit away in my head as soon as I saw it or heard it was when Jamie Foxx was gonna go into the club to pretend to be Vincent, and then he asks Tom Cruise, he asks Vincent, "How long have you been doing this?" in case they ask me. And then Vincent, he doesn't just say 6 years. He says 6 years in the private sector, which tells me that, so he's been killing people prior to working in the private sector, a.k.a. he's ex-military.
Right.
Yes. So I think that's something I really picked up on, and nothing else more came out of that. Like, we don't really know much more about like his past. He talks about his dad a little bit. I don't even know if that's true. I kind of got Joker story vibes out of that. Like, how true is that?
Total War, I Ching, motherfucker. Oh, was it? That
But-
wasn't Total War. What he says.
No, he said, oh, fuck, what did he say?
All I know is I remember
Darwinism,
I Ching, motherfucker. Yeah, something like that.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
like how Jamie Foxx's character
Yeah,
takes lines from Tom Cruise,
because he believes
from
it too.
Vincent. And Vincent's really, really interesting. Like you guys have seen season 1, True Detective, right?
Mhm.
He reminded me, like, his monologues reminded me of Matthew McConaughey's character. Like, he's into this, like,
Philosophical.
yeah, he's like a philosophical psychopath. I mean, Matthew McConaughey's character was a philosophical sociopath, so like slight difference there. But yeah, I was very convinced by Tom Cruise's character. I felt his character, while mysterious, you got a sense of who he was. You got a sense of like what was driving him and what the fuck was wrong with him mentally to, like, I guess, square with his own twisted sense of morals and killing people. Yeah, and what you said about Jamie Foxx, how they like kind of like painted a picture of his character, completely different approach. Like, you can see right off the bat, like, he takes care of his cab, like he does the checklist, he fucking checks the lights on all of his, like, he does more to his cab than we do when we check out fucking the 18 ton shit ass at work. Like,
Yeah.
he is a fastidious character and he is dedicated. Jamie Foxx, that is. I mean, Tom Cruise too, but in terms of like taking care of the cab. So, I really liked how the characters were fleshed out in this. And I think it's really more so the acting, and directorial choices. I think it's less so the cinematography. I didn't really like how the camera was sometimes. Like, I kind of felt like they were going for like this, I don't know, like Born Identity shaky cam, like the picture's not so clear, looking through like blurry glass, like that, a lot of the lights like kind of in your face. It definitely had a certain kind of feel, and I definitely think it added to the character of the city, but I just found it visually unpleasant to watch sometimes.
Okay. You.
It reminded me of Heat, and I later looked it up later that the guy who directed Michael Mann, he directed Heat.
Oh,
And
that checks.
and because I was watching this, I'm like, this looks a lot like Heat. And anyway, that's how I felt about the characters.
And their development, or just how they're brought on to everybody's attention.
Really
I guess.
good, yeah.
What is the? You know how once a long time ago, in an episode of Family Guy, it's just Tom Cruise, right? They always make fun of him.
Okay.
Like, why does Tom Cruise always run in his movies? And it's to escape his gay thoughts. And then you look at the way Tom Cruise runs in all his movies is exactly the same. Perfect posture. Perfect posture, swinging his arms as hard as he can,
Yes.
running super fast. Like, unbelievably fast, you know. And that's what he does. That's his signature thing. He even did that in what's it called? Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, really?
Ran in Eyes Wide Shut. I can't remember which one it was, but I know he ran. I think it was running to.
Did he run in Vanilla Sky?
Oh, I don't remember actually.
I watched that movie one time, and that was enough.
Or maybe this is before his, like, the trope that is him running. You know, every movie, think about it. He does his own stunts. He runs his own things.
Yeah.
When he ran after Max on the overpass.
Yes.
Right. And he gets right in his face too.
Booking
Mm-hmm.
it, dude.
With prejudice.
He caught up. So like, I'm watching like the delay, the distance that Max has, like the kind of lead that Max has. Like, he went through like a flight of stairs in the train tracks. He went into a train to like another or like something like that, and then he was running across the bridge, and then Tom Cruise catches up with him
He
like
ran.
2 seconds later.
I mean, professional assassin on one hand, the other hand, a 12-year seasoned cabbie. Ah,
Who
Yeah,
wins?
yeah.
All right, you got me there.
And it's Tom Cruise, of course.
it is Tom Cruise.
Can't escape Tom
He
Cruise.
he has shark eyes. Like Tom
Yeah.
Cruise has like dark, menacing eyes. He plays like mostly like protagonist in most of his movies.
Mhm.
Or when he smiles and he's always squinting like he smiles.
hmm
I don't know. Makes the sun in his eyes, even in the dark.
Yeah, I don't know. This movie was different because obviously he was the bad guy. Yeah.
I like that.
I did. Yeah, I wish he was the bad guy in more movies.
Technically, wasn't he the bad guy in Interview with the Vampire? Technically,
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Technically.
Yep, you're right.
technically,
He's a really good vampire. I feel like
Yeah.
because like objectively, he is a handsome man, but he is also terrifying. So like I think he makes a great vampire. And who knows? Vincent might actually be a vampire. We never see him in daylight. Wait, actually in the airport. Never mind.
Mm.
But
I really feel like he was the bad guy in Top Gun. As much as everyone wants to say Iceman was, I think Iceman was just kind of doing his thing. He was,
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he was a dick, but top of his class, he was doing everything
Mhm.
that he needed to do to be the best. And Tom Cruise is just out there being a fucking asshole.
yeah.
I've never seen Top Gun, so I can't speak to that. But it sounds I believe it,
I saw Top Gun Maverick last
which
week.
I heard was really good.
It was pretty damn good.
Mhm.
Dare I say, definitely better than the first one.
Do you think
Better than
I'm
the first
missing out by not watching it in theaters? Because I planned on watching it just like on my TV when
I
it
think
came out.
I think you're missing out.
You're missing out.
Really?
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah, you are missing out.
All right.
They're
okay.
they're done playing 40x and the that new stuff like in IMAX though, but you can probably still watch it. They're not doing IMAX anymore. They just did it for a little bit because apparently those companies like pay heavy for these theaters to play them
I see.
in
Huh.
IMAX. Well, I was saying like Hannah,
Mhm.
she told me that she looked it up that Val Kilmer, he played Iceman, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He apparently allegedly begged to be in the movie.
In this movie?
Yes,
Huh.
because he was in the movie slightly for a little bit. You saw it?
Mhm.
Wait, he
Yeah.
was?
Yeah, he was.
Oh well.
What
Spoiler,
was it?
spoiler alert.
What was his role?
Oh, sorry, spoiler alert.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Collateral.
Oh no, I'm talking about Top Gun.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, in Top Gun, not this movie.
I was
My
like,
bad.
I didn't read that on the wiki.
Can you imagine Val Kilmer?
But do you know who was gonna be in Collateral
No,
before Tom Cruise and before Jamie Foxx?
Will Smith.
It was gonna be Russell Crowe as Vincent
Oh no.
Oh,
and Adam Sandler.
Oh man.
Adam Sandler as Max.
oh my god.
And it was gonna be a comedy.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That would be like
Okay, well, when you put it that way, it sounds okay.
I mean, there's been like more ambitious like buddy. I guess it's not a buddy cop, but like, have you guys ever seen 48 Hours with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy?
No.
Oh, God, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a buddy cop. Obviously, Nick Nolte sounds like he like drank like a couple gallons of whiskey before every role.
Well, yeah. I'm for Lee.
I've seen him in like 2 movies, and yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, Warrior and
Warrior.
Tropic Thunder.
And yeah.
Yeah, pair him up with Eddie Murphy, and that's like odd. But yeah, Adam Sandler and Russell Crowe would be wild.
Yes. As a comedy, I can see it, but in its way, I've seen this Collateral. Absolutely not.
Russell Crowe has done comedies.
Yeah,
I
of
mean
course.
the
No,
one with Ryan
yeah,
Gosling.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
the
The Nice
Nice
Guys.
Guys.
Mhm.
So good.
Yeah,
What other comedies? He's done other comedies. I'm sure he has. I mean,
I thought it was funny the way his bones cracked when he fell off the fucking dam on Les Miserables.
okay, yeah.
Did anyone find that off-putting? Like, this is supposed to be like a classic French tale. Like, it's a musical. They're singing. It's romantic, and his character is supposed to die and fall off this bridge or dam or whatever, and the camera doesn't pan away. It continues to look at his falling body, and then his body hits the bottom of the gorge, and somehow all the way up at the top of the dam or bridge, we are still able to hear his bones crack. And like the sound director or the director or whoever's in charge of audio for that movie was like, we need to hear this shit.
We're going for the Oscar.
Yeah, they got the what's the sound guy called? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's
Key
sound
grip?
guy. I don't know.
The key grip, right?
Is Foley artist. I think that's what it's called.
Oh.
They took
No
like the
idea.
biggest piece of celery and just like broke
Oh,
broke it across the microphone.
I can't. I want to do it. We take the water
Nice,
bottle
nice.
and just like
Yeah.
crinkle it out.
More crunch. We need more crunch.
I want you to get all the celery you can find.
Get the leaks. Get all the leaks.
But yeah, no, they ended up with Russell Crowe. He really wanted to be part of the movie, but then the movie kept getting delayed, and eventually he was like, "Nah, fuck it." And I don't know what happened to Adam Sandler, but he didn't end up making it. And yeah,
He probably went to make the Zohan movie.
Oh man, we don't gotta talk about that one.
There's something about that movie. There's just something about it that's actually okay.
you don't mess with Zohan.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Is it good? Is it like Joe Dirt? I had a feeling it might be like Joe Dirt.
No, it's
No?
no. I don't think it's. I actually don't think it's anything like
Is
that.
it like Dude, Where's My Car?
No.
I have no idea what this
Just
movie
I
is.
don't think it's either a cult classic or a classic
It's
or
he's just an Israeli. So he's a former or Israeli special ops, guy.
Hey, he's
the
supposed to be a
Zohan.
bounty hunter, right?
No, he works for the Israeli army,
Oh,
And
what
he-
the?
and he's an assassin, and he kills, essentially, how like the issue with Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, yeah.
He
He
kills Palestinian
Palestinians?
quote unquote terrorists, right?
Ah.
Um,
Oh, that movie. That's what this movie's doing.
Mhm.
what?
Isn't it a comedy?
It's
Yes,
comedy.
comedy. No. But the thing is, he doesn't want to. Here's the catch: he doesn't want to kill people anymore.
Okay.
He just wants to style hair.
Yeah.
He wants to be a
Oh.
hairstylist. And everyone's like laughing, and his parents are like, "You're like Rembrandt with a grenade." That's literally that's literally a line, And so he essentially, spoiler alert, really fakes his own death, and he goes to New York to become a hairstylist, and
Oh,
other things ensue,
all
right?
Yeah.
Man.
he
The
gets
comedy's
into
real,
trouble.
but it is like Jonah said, like, yeah, it's an Adam Sandler. What do you expect with him? What he just shits out something like that every day,
Yeah.
and he tries his best to. What do you call? To break typecasting. Well, he does good jobs every once in a while.
I think the only typecasting breaking that I've seen Adam Sandler do is in two movies. First one, in my experience, is Punch Drunk Love, which
Love
I
it.
which I really liked, and the second one was Uncut Gems,
Uncle John.
which was a fantastic film. Even
You have
though I
to-
did not enjoy it.
You have to see Rain Over Me. You have to see that.
I've never seen that. Isn't that's the one with Don Cheadle, right?
Don Cheadle
and
and-
9/11.
Yep.
and all that
It's
stuff.
it's movies. Adam Sandler in New York City.
Yeah.
Big shocker, yeah. And his family. You don't really see this. His family died during 9/11,
Yeah.
and
The movie came out like
2006 maybe.
pretty. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
They're cutting it close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was tons of movies like
I think it was like
really?
essentially an artistic piece to show, like, hey, people are going through this and it's okay. I think that's really what
I
they're going
see.
for, right?
Yeah.
And he starts like losing his sense of sanity because everything he cared about is gone. He has
Yeah.
all this money, because of family or something like that, and then he's losing a sense, like,
What's-
and then he meets up with Don Cheadle, who his old best friend from school, because
Oh, yes, it's
they're
best
they're
friend,
dentists,
right.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Yeah, and from dental school, and he knew him, and that's Don Cheadle. Spends the movie trying to get him, trying to help him, every way he can. And it in itself was like not the best movie, but it is something where you can see that
Like
Adam
it's
Sandler,
worth watching.
Adam Sandler can put in a good act. He really can act. I think so.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
I really, especially watching Punch Drunk Love, even though it's the hint of comedy in there.
Yeah.
I guess we're diverting again, aren't we?
A little bit, but I think that's okay. So what I remember from this film, and I read this on Reddit all the time, like it has like this legendary club shootout scene, and like rewatching it. Well, what do you guys think? of the in the Korean club where Henry Lim was supposed to be, which is really weird because Lim is not a Korean last name, but whatever. Okay, but yeah, Henry Lim's supposed to be there. He's like a target that Vincent is trying to kill, and like you have the FBI, the cop side coming in. You have Vincent coming in. You have Felix, who is like this mob boss from Colombia, I think, and you have Felix's goons coming in. So it's like a trifecta of different entities coming into this club with basically hostile intentions towards everything and everyone. And there's a shootout. What'd you guys think of it?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I thought it was like everything else. I wouldn't say highly unrealistic because those things
Yeah.
are kind of unrealistic. You know, I mean, shooting these days are not, but like something like that is like these are movies, whatever. Let me get to this.
No,
Vincent walking in,
Yeah.
you know, and then he's like things are going awry.
Hmm.
You know, he's trying to save face, just do his job and kill somebody.
Yeah.
But now he's going in there, shooting everybody and walking away as if nothing happened. Everyone's passing by him, and nobody wants to stop the highly trained dude who looks very sinister,
Yeah.
who's shooting the place up. Or not the place up, he's killing everybody. But he's shooting everybody one by one
Hmm.
and getting away with it for the time being.
Yeah. I think
I mean, I thought that was classic. I thought it was good.
everything you said I agree with. And I kind of felt my balloon deflate a bit
That's where my
when I watched that scene cuz I watched this movie a long time ago like you did. And I remember really liking that scene and then I years went by I kind of forgot about it. And then people bring up the movie Collateral every now and then like on Reddit, like you'd always read about the legendary shootout scene, yada yada yada. And I think I built it up as something better than it actually was in my head because I'm rewatching this thing again, and I had the exact same concerns that you had. Like, does no one care that he's menacingly moving through this club, not dancing,
yeah.
clearly not dancing, clearly not belonging, and then like brandishing a weapon at certain points, and people are just like continuing to dance around him.
Yes, they were all still dancing. The people around him
Yeah.
were like,
He breaks a dude's neck on the dance floor, and like I think like two of the dancers kind of look at him, and then like they just carry on dancing. Like it's
I think a lot of club fight scenes and like shootouts now, at least like in movies nowadays, you see more strobe lights involved.
Mhm.
So I think that fixes that issue, but I think that is an issue in this movie. I also there's an exit of this club. Why people are just aimlessly running around and not finding this exit?
Yes.
It bothered me, and I thought about that a couple times because I'm seeing like the same people run across the shot like at least 5 or 6 times, like brushing up against Tom Cruise,
Oh
and I'm
my
just
God.
like, yo, just find the exit.
What about when Tom Cruise leaves from the front, where everyone's also leaving,
Yeah.
stands there, and then also shoots Mark Ruffalo
Oh,
in the
yeah.
shoulder? And isn't that the last time you even see Mark Ruffalo too?
They Leonardo DiCaprio'd him from the Departed.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
literally what happened.
Did he die? Did he die?
I mean,
He took 2 to the chest, so
True.
and then he stopped moving. So
Ruffalo, he looked like he was undercover, right? Because he looked like just like a sleazy dude.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, he was definitely like an undercover type guy.
But then they Leo DiCaprio. I love that.
but I feel like there wasn't enough character development for me to actually care that he died. I think it was just like, well, Mark
Yeah.
Ruffalo's dead, and I don't know if he's actually dead.
I think
Was he really that big? Because I think the first movie before that I saw him in, the earliest, was 13 Going on 30, which was I think 2 years before, 2003.
I can't remember the first movie I saw him in. I couldn't tell you if I could. But his character, the cop guy, like I was shocked when he died,
Mm-hmm.
and like when he showed up and started like leading Max outside and like reassuring Max like I believe you, like I I know that there's like another guy making you do this. Like, I don't know if he said it in those words, but he was able to reassure Max that that he wouldn't be framed and that he would be protected. And then Max, like, he felt good about it, and obviously, like, he killed him. And then Max got all upset with that. And I think that's when Max fucking gave up. Because after that scene, he crashes the car
Yeah, he
after
flipped
that
the car.
scene. Yeah, he fucking loses all hope, and he's like, "Fuck this." But the club scene, I in an era in which a movie like John Wick exists,
Mhm.
where John Wick has multiple like crowd/club scenes where
Headshots.
yes, and like but the action is so expertly framed
Mhm.
in John Wick. And in this movie, it's not. And like the best gun work in this movie is when he killed the dudes in the alley.
Yes.
That's the best gun work in this movie. The rest of this movie, it's as if like they had like a gun tactics expert on set and he was there for that scene. And then they're like, all right, we don't need you for the rest of the movie. Like, and then they just got rid of all tactics for the rest of the action scenes for the rest of the movie.
6 years in the private sector, and this is how you show it. No, I mean,
Yeah. I was a little let down with that club scene.
speaking of John Wick, can you imagine if Tom Cruise was Tom Wick?
Oh,
Tom Wick.
Vincent versus John Wick.
I was gonna say, what if
Vincent is one of the fucking thug dudes that John Wick kills on his way to kill the main
Yeah.
villain.
of course, I think definitely John Wick would
Wipe
decimate.
the floor.
He decimates
dude.
anybody. He killed the guy with a pencil. With a fucking pencil.
Vincent got killed by a 12-year cabbie who wasn't even aiming.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
True. I'm just trying to end this in general.
what the? Oh God! But you know what a way to go. I actually so on one hand, I felt his demise was a little anticlimactic, but on the other hand, I really liked the irony of it.
Yeah, he said that one of their first conversations was like how like some dude died on a
Yes.
subway,
Yeah.
and he was like gone for like several stations and no one knew it, and then that happened to be his fate at the very end.
Oh yeah.
I really liked that full circle thing. I don't really know what message it's trying to say, but I dig it.
I think it's because like I don't know, people actually don't care. They only care when it's involving them.
That's true.
I think the movie touches on that theme a lot, specifically through Vincent's character, because like Vincent always says he's always tossing out numbers, like 17 million people in this city, and like Rwanda, like tens of thousands died in a week,
In an evening.
in an
Yeah,
evening.
you don't
yeah.
care about that, but you care about these 5 people.
Yeah, and like
Like,
6 billion people on this planet, and yada. He's always tossing out fucking numbers.
Yeah.
And then I think I don't know. I don't know what the movie's trying to do with that. Maybe to Vincent, like human lives are just numbers. I don't know what's going on there. I know he uses those numbers to justify what he does. To like make the lives he takes insignificant in comparison to the rest of the world and the rest of fucking murder and mayhem that happens around the world.
it's probably to justify. I don't know if he's trying to justify what he does, but I think he's trying to justify how Max feels, so he'd shut up. You know.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
think-
That's a good point.
I think that at the end of the day, they are just numbers. People are just numbers. He's got a contract to fulfill.
Yeah,
he's
5
gonna fulfill.
people.
Yeah, he's gonna kill those 5 people. He's gonna collect his paycheck, then he's gonna go on to the next.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
he doesn't really
that's right.
care about how it happens. It's just it needs to happen,
Mhm.
and he needs to get it done. And after he got shot, and he's like, "Well, there's really no point in going on. I'm going to die,"
Yeah.
and that's it.
A shot that I noticed,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure. Let me know if you guys agree with me. But the part where they're in the office building,
Yeah.
and then Jada Smith and Max are running away,
Mhm.
and Tom Cruise is running over a chair and trips over the chair. That was
Yes.
100% accidental.
Yeah.
It had to have been.
and they left that shit. I
They
like
left-
that.
Yeah, and I
I
think
do like that.
they're probably like, we already broke the glass. We're not going to put
We're
more
not gonna
glass.
set it up again.
Yeah.
Well, props to Tom Cruise too. Like he just kept going.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Hmm.
The guy's like, he's been working for what, 36 years since 1986? No, 1988. What was Risky Business? I
Yeah.
think?
So,
Mhm.
I'm really glad you mentioned that. I know I mentioned to you earlier this week, but I was listening to a podcast where they were kind of talking about Tom Cruise's career, and like Tom Cruise is one of the only people who's had, like you said, a 3-decade career, but he still draws the big bucks
He is
at the theater.
the most relevant, I think, when it comes to
'Cause-
his people his age too.
Yes, because there are other actors who have had long careers: Tom Hanks, George Clooney, Denzel Washington, but they don't draw millions and millions of dollars at the box office like Tom Cruise. Oh, I can't think of any other person with as long of a career. Because like the older you get, the longer you've been in this business, you like
Tom Cruise doesn't have to
yeah.
change the type of character he plays to
Mm-mm.
do that. Because he does, right? He's done that before, but he doesn't have to. Because those
Yeah.
roles are made for him. And
And
he makes them for himself as well, I'm
and
sure.
he's so good. He's such an amazing actor. Like when I think of like people who can draw that kind of crowd, like maybe The Rock. Like The Rock is very popular, but does he have the same acting chops as Tom Cruise?
I think it's mostly because you know what you're getting. I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
dynamic actors out there that are really good at what they do and
Okay.
can throw their range out there, but you also don't know what you're gonna get. Like Daniel Day-Lewis, great actor. He can do multiple things with whatever.
Yeah.
But you could go see Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York, and it's like, oh wow, that was really dope. Or you could go see him in Abraham Lincoln, and it's like
Yeah.
completely different. But if
Yeah.
you put Tom Cruise in those two same roles, you're gonna get Tom Cruise in both those same roles. And
No offense, Tom Cruise. But
Yeah.
it's just.
Tom
It's true.
Cruise, Abraham Lincoln.
But the thing, you found your niche, obviously, in the last 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Especially, I think his first action movie was Mission Impossible, right? Because that came in 1990,
I know it was an old movie. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
right? I think in 1990.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know his early stuff. I know Jonah mentioned he was in The Outsiders.
That had one action scene, the big fight.
The one that led to death.
Bum, bum, bum.
I've never seen The Outsiders. I've read the book because like I had to in like 6th grade, but yeah, I've never seen the movie. I don't know what else he's been in, like in his early days.
Well, he was in Risky Business, of course. But you're talking about
never seen that.
early days. Let's see.
Was he a child star? Did he get big off like when he was a kid, or I don't know how his career
Oh
started.
my God, Risky Business, 1983.
I feel like he started in The Outsiders. He
Okay.
was like, there were background characters. He was like the background character
Oh.
in like all the greasers. I think he had one line. Other than that, he sat at the kitchen table and he just ate cake with his hands.
Yeah,
That was him in The Outsiders.
The Outsiders and Risky Business came out the same
Yeah.
year. Same year.
Hmm.
1983. He did a movie called Cocktail, 1988.
Yeah.
When
When did Top Gun come out?
Top Gun.
I'm pretty sure Top Gun is what sent him to superstardom.
He's also in what
19 sorry. Yeah.
Rolling Thunder with Robert Duvall.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
That was pretty early.
Top Gun came out in 1986 when he was 23 years old.
Wow.
So at 20, he was in Risky Business. 1983. 1983, he was in a movie called All the Right Moves. 1981, he was in a movie called Taps.
Hmm.
It's military looking like. Losing It. Things are sure all low things. That's pretty much it for his biography.
But yeah, no, he's had an amazing career.
Mhm.
And I think someone who as much of a household name as Tom Cruise, like I think it's easy to forget that like he's actually a very, very talented, very accomplished actor who has the chops to to do anything. Yeah.
Another guy who doesn't have an Oscar, but has he really done anything Oscar worthy?
Wait, Tom Cruise doesn't have an Oscar?
I'm looking at his, and he does not have an Oscar.
Huh. Interesting.
Nope.
I
If he doesn't get an Oscar soon, he'll probably end up getting a Lifetime Achievement Award just like Sam Jackson.
mm-hmm.
But
Hmm.
if you think about it, I look back, I'm like, what has he really done that was really Oscar worthy? I don't think he even cares. I think he does it for the thrill.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's
Did he get
He's-
nominated? I'm sure he got
I
nominated.
think he's good at what he does.
Yeah.
But he's not very dynamic,
Hmm.
which I think is okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy like legitimately most of his movies.
Mhm.
I don't think there's very few movies that I can think of that I don't enjoy. Like I like Jerry Maguire. You know, that's not an action movie. It's a romance.
Yeah.
I like
Right.
I like the Jack Reacher series.
It was right. It's like a good pleasure because like it actually technically was a flop,
Yeah.
even though it but it was good to watch.
You could just watch a Tom Cruise movie casually and find some like
Yeah.
enjoyment out
You
of
really know what you're gonna get.
He
because
was
it's
he was
Tom
in a
Cruise.
movie with
He's so cool, you know.
what was it? Oblivion? Oblivion, right?
Oblivion also,
I,
yeah.
I didn't think it was very good, but I still enjoyed it a lot, and I enjoyed Tom Cruise's performance. I really liked Edge of Tomorrow.
it. Edge of Tomorrow was dope.
I
With
really liked it.
what's her
yeah.
name?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
Oof,
Edge Tomorrow.
Emily.
That came out in 2014.
John Krasinski's mommy.
Yes.
Yes,
Indeed.
and with a capital I, right at
Mhm.
the end. He's a yeah, Tom Cruise. I like how we're still talking so highly about Tom Cruise, which is true. We completely forgot about
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
I think Jamie Foxx had a harder acting job than Tom Cruise in this movie
Mhm.
because he actually went through character development.
Had to keep up with Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
No, that's not what I mean. I'm saying like Tom Cruise's character doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Foxx's character changes. Like he
True.
grows. He accepts things about himself. He like puts on a face that he's not used to. He goes through way more emotions than Tom Cruise because he's reacting to like this fucking force of nature that entered his cab.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise, he's just channeling one particular kind of like chaotic fucking evil, and he just runs with that the entire movie. Jamie Foxx, he has a lot more heavy lifting in terms of like dramatic acting versus Tom Cruise, and I think this is the first movie that I saw him where he's not a confident person. Because like when I think of Jamie Foxx, I think of Django,
Or like
or
or what's his name from Any Given Sunday?
never seen that.
Also good. Yeah, true. You're like you're saying that he's mostly confident movie.
Yeah,
Not confident,
I-
other
I-
than
I know he-
Max from
yeah, Spider-Man.
maybe it's the name. The name
Um,
Max makes him unconfident. looking.
I know he was in like he was in a he played in a biopic where he played
Ray.
who's the
Ray,
yeah,
yeah.
Ray.
He
I've
played,
never
yeah.
seen that, so I don't know how
It's
he
pretty
was in
good.
that.
It's good.
Mhm.
Definitely like personifies like who he was, I guess. I mean, it
Mhm.
came out a long ass time ago, but still, just like this movie. What else? He's done comedies too because he started off in what show was he in? The Jamie Foxx show. He actually has his own show,
Yeah.
comedy show.
I'm actually not very familiar with his career.
Yeah, I mean, he started out in the 90s in this show.
Yeah,
Then he did Any Given Sunday in 2000, which is his real breakout role.
I think the first,
I don't think it was his breakout role actually, but I think
the first movie I
Ray
saw
was,
him in
right?
was in that Iraq War movie, or was it Iraq War?
yeah,
Kuwait,
Jarhead.
Kuwait War.
It wasn't Iraq. I think it was
Was he in Jarhead?
yeah, he
yes,
was Jarhead.
yes.
He was the drill. He was a sergeant, like their
Yep.
sergeant major or something.
Their
I
NCO.
didn't really like Jarhead. I don't like Jake Gyllenhaal very much.
I think Jarhead was
I'm with you.
poorly advertised, but because like it was advertised as like a war, quote unquote, war
Mhm.
movie, but it's not a movie about war. It's a movie about being in the military and hating your life.
And realizing, oh yeah, there's a movie about it's a movie about a war that never actually happened.
It's the first time I heard the term Jody, and
Good old Jody.
yeah. The next time I heard the term Jody was at boot camp. So, yeah.
Thank
That was
God
my
it-
first taste of Jamie Foxx, and he just came across as this super confident, like knows exactly what he's doing, hard dude. Um, and in this movie, he's completely different, which I appreciated.
He was still pretty smooth, right? Like confident with his job and his knowledge,
Oh yeah, yeah,
right? Because getting in that argument with Jada Smith about which route to take because he wants to, save her
yes.
some money, But
But
she,
but he couldn't admit that he was good because at every time he'd said, "I got lucky with the lights." He
Mhm.
said it with both Tom Cruise and Jada Pinkett Smith. Like it's his go-to like self-deprecating type of thing that he does or that character does.
Mhm.
And I again, really good writing, really good characterization. And obviously great amazing delivery from Jamie Foxx. Um I wanted to say something else about the club shooting, but I forgot. Oh man.
how it wasn't overwhelming or underwhelming. It was just some not drawn out but phoned in type thing, I guess.
I
think,
don't go ahead.
I think that set up the third act poorly. I thought the
Okay.
third act was the weakest part of the movie.
Mm.
Obviously, starting out with the club shooting. Mark Ruffalo. I feel like if Mark Ruffalo and Jamie Foxx made it out of the club, and I think Vincent could go on his own thing at that point. Like stuff is fucked up, super fucked up.
Yeah.
There's feds everywhere. There's cops everywhere. Vincent goes to do his own thing, and Jamie Foxx and Mark Ruffalo find like his not his briefcase, the computer,
Oh, okay.
and they see Jada Pinkett Smith and like, oh, that's his next target. We should go go after him, and that becomes
Yeah.
like kind of like a buddy cop thing. I don't know.
Can you imagine if that computer just got destroyed and then he would just not know?
Yeah,
He's like, all right, now she's dead. And
Okay,
you got-
that's something I do want to talk about. So Tom Cruise is supposedly this amazing assassin,
is that a Deus Ex Machina?
but he doesn't remember who his targets are, and he needs the files to remember.
mm-hmm.
Like, I thought about it as it was happening, and I'm like, how shitty is this guy? Like, you don't like look at your shit before like he what?
True, and none of this would have happened if he had been better in like killing this dude in the first place.
I
Not
know,
like-
yeah,
None of this would have happened had he just fallen out the damn window.
exactly.
I think back in 2005,
Yeah.
there were Blackberries, right? Blackberries were a
Yes.
thing?
Yeah.
So I feel like a super assassin would have at least like some sort of like thing
yeah.
to even just a notebook. To be honest, even just like a notebook with like names and addresses on them.
Yeah.
Is this
that
an
he could just
instance?
keep it on him.
Is this an instance of just lazy writing? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I think they wanted to have they wanted Jamie Foxx's character to
Yeah.
do the pretend Vincent thing. They really wanted that. Like, oh, how are we gonna make it happen? Like, oh, let's say Vincent loses his contacts and needs to get another copy of his contacts. And then like I imagine like somebody at the writers' table was like, well, why would he forget? He's an accomplished assassin. And then everyone else around him just shits on him.
Mm-hmm.
No, he forgot, and Jamie Foxx needs to get the list again. Fuck you, fuck your idea. Anyway, and then like they went with whatever happened in the movie. So I don't know, cause like it doesn't seem as it was happening. I didn't believe it. Like this guy's supposed to be top notch. Why doesn't he know
Just
who his
mess-
last two targets are?
Just messing this up left and right. Like, you want to take time to go see his mom, like
That-
or else something will be up. Like, come on, she's not. She'll be all right. What is that? A scene that we've already overlooked was actually a good scene and very disturbing one.
Which one?
Was the jazz club scene?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I thought that
That's-
was very good.
That was good.
That was
and,
tense.
And that's the thing where you actually feel fear, kind
Yes.
of, because this guy literally didn't want to die.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to die, and he came in and said, "Hey, you know what? He just asked you a question. He answers a question, and I'll let you live." And he asked about what was it? He asked about I forgot about the
where did Miles
Miles Davis go to school.
go to or learn
Learn.
music?
Right, yeah. And then he's like, Jamie Foxx, he went to school. That's it. There's the answer.
Yeah, he went to school. And then the guy answers,
Carnegie Mellon, right?
Juilliard.
Juilliard, my bad.
Juilliard. Yeah. He wasn't wrong, but then Tom Cruise shoots him anyway.
And tells him after he shoots him,
Yeah.
says the right
Goes
answer.
into more detail.
About, yeah. And they says, you weren't going to let him live anyway. And that, like, how this guy said, just tell him I'm sorry, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what did he do? I want to know these things. What happened?
They hinted at some stuff. So like Cartagena or whatever. It's a place in Colombia, I believe, and they hearken to the Colombian cartel, and I think there were like sprinkles across the movie hinting at these people that he's killing. They're witnesses in a case and they're under like witness protection, yada yada yada. And there's a case coming up, and the cartel wants these people dead before the case goes to trial. I think that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say any of that outright. They kind of like place things here and there. But that's what I figured. I read through the plot again on the wiki and like was able to piece it together a little bit better. I don't think the movie is really interested in like providing that kind of backstory. It's there, the backstory's there, but it's not interested in like presenting it to the audience, like handing it to them on a silver platter. And I didn't really mind either.
I think it was just missing there's a big amount of excitement that it was missing that it needed, but I don't think they could find it, or maybe they just didn't have time because, like you said, it was really supposed to be comedy, and they were just running behind on it, right? So maybe they just, we got to throw something together to make this actually an action. I feel as though, if you look right into it, what if it could have been a good comedy? What if like a lot of things that is missing in action, it could have been a good comedy?
It might have been
that scene, like the club shooting scene. They could have done something with that.
Possibly. Who knows? Everything all right?
Sorry, I was wondering what the noise was.
Oh, is that a siren?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I thought my cats were just screaming or something. Oh my god, is the house on fire? I don't even know.
Yeah. What else?
I don't really
know. What else caught your guys' eye during this?
Not for me. Not really much else.
That third act though that you mentioned, Jonah. I do agree that it's a completely different feel from the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It turns into almost like a slasher flick with Tom Cruise as Jason and Jada Pinkett Smith as the teenager who's running from him. But I think it's a little cliche, a little bit. But I will say, as I was watching, I didn't mind it too much. Yeah.
I thought it was the one thing about the third act I do like is because you don't see Vincent in his like what do you it's like he has his blinders on, like he's trying to complete the mission at all costs at this point because he's running out of time.
And he's sloppy.
And he's getting sloppy.
Yeah.
So it's like the third act, he doesn't really talk at all. And he's just like completely focused on killing Jada. And yeah, I don't know. It's really, really cold and calculated.
I do like some little things that are in the movie that help ground it to reality. One thing I really appreciated in the third act was when Max is hiding with what's Jada's name in this movie? I forget her name.
I'll figure it out.
But yeah, they're in the train. They're hiding from Vincent. Train stops. The doors open, and Vincent kind of steps out, and he's like, he has the train like down his line of sight, and he's waiting for them to come out. And what's this? Annie's her name in this movie. But yeah, like that little like scene there, I felt that grounded in reality a bit,
Mhm.
which is something I always appreciate in any action movie. Um, but yeah,
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
You think like because there's a lot of action movies where they're doing like chase scenes, and it's
Mhm.
like that would never happen. Like if this guy has a gun, he's getting
Yeah.
you know he's getting his guy.
Yeah, but in this movie, he camps. He camps
Mhm.
the entrance,
Mhm.
which is probably the right move. Yeah.
I think that slowed down all the I guess high intensity running in action. I thought
That's true
I
too.
think that's when the third act started to become more like the rest of the movie.
Yes, yeah. And by that point, like the third act was like pretty much finishing up,
Mhm.
because they run to the end of the train, nowhere else to go, and yeah,
When Tom Cruise jumps onto the train platform or onto the tracks
uh
as it's moving away, and then you think, "Oh my God, did they make it?" No,
huh,
there he is in the back,
yeah.
and then gets in and walks like nothing's wrong.
Um, Even when Jamie Foxx kills him, like Tom Cruise, he unloads his magazine. He reaches for for another magazine, but he doesn't have another magazine, and I thought that was a nice touch. Um, I don't know why. Like I just like that. Like even though he had like bullet wounds in him, he was still focused on like doing his job.
Was it
Um,
finishing the job or just getting back at or
Probably both. I don't know.
it probably was
Yeah.
finishing the job at this point because maybe there's a possibility if he kills him, he could survive it.
Mm.
John Wick would have finished the job.
John Wick would have finished the job before it even like
He would have used the empty magazine.
yes, he would have tossed it right through the glass. It's true.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have gone into the building. Would have just got a rifle and shot it right through.
I want to clear this up. So, the reason Tom Cruise, why Vincent missed, was it because, like, as he was shooting, like, the train went through, like, light and shadow, or, like, the lights flickered, and Max was on one side of the window and he moved to the next side, and then did Tom Cruise's character get confused? I don't understand why he missed, because up until this point, like he's pretty much had aimbot up until this
Mhm.
point. So like I don't want to say it's just plot armor, because I don't think the movie is that stupid.
Plot bullet.
For Jamie Foxx, like I want to say that there is a reason why Tom Cruise. Well, he just got out of an accident, so maybe like his brain is jumbled up a bit. But I don't know. Did you guys see something that
I
would maybe?
I thought it would have been really cool if he would have got at least clipped or wounded or something like
Yeah.
Jamie. Um, but I think when they got on the train, the lights did flicker a couple times. I think that was just kind of like telling you, hey, the
Mm.
electricity on this train's not very good. So I think that was the
All right.
explanation for that scene.
Oh, can we talk about how like when Max first shoots Vincent, like Vincent was like, "What are you gonna do? Shoot me?" And, like, I don't know if he says those exact words, but like that's kind of the vibe he was giving out to Max. Like, "You're not gonna shoot me," and then he shoots him. But he's shitty at it, so like he doesn't
Mhm.
like he
He was
what hits,
closing his eyes, right? He was like,
yeah, he hits his ear or something. But oh, what I did really like, and again, this is one of those small things that grounds the movie. When Max gets to the building that Annie and Vincent are in, he tries to go through the door and he can't go through it. He tries to throw the trash can through the glass door. It doesn't work. And then he's like, "Oh, you know what? I gotta shoot this door." He tries to shoot the door, safety's on. And he takes the time to take the safety off, which like totally believable. And then the next time he actually uses the gun is he shoots Vincent. And like I thought that was a really good chain of events. It just really adds to the realism. There's a lot of like little things that happen in this movie that make you believe shit is real in this movie.
Like in some poorly written movies, there's a person who's never held a gun in their life, but as soon as they grab one, they know to take off the safety.
Yeah,
And they know how to shoot, where to shoot.
exactly.
That's a big thing that
Yeah.
you see in a lot of poorly written movies, or just phoned in. Like, hey, let's do it for the
Yeah,
money.
they become John Wick.
Yes,
A 12-year cabbie becomes John Wick.
12-year
Yeah.
cabbie becomes a man who can create a gun out of random guns and then shoot it at the right
Yeah.
time, and then take massive amount of knives.
And then we discover he's actually an ex-Navy SEAL.
Yes, exactly. God, I can't wait for John Wick 4. Comes out next year. Just letting you know.
You know, I never finished watching John Wick 3. I got to the part where they set the dogs onto the enemies, and the dogs kill. Or what's her name?
Halle Berry?
Halle Berry sets
that-
her dogs on the enemies.
Is that 2 or 3?
That's 3.
That's 3.
That is 3.
I
and
I
it's-
can't distinguish them between. And the first one is the first one,
First one's the first one.
but the second 2 I can't. I don't know.
The second one is the one where him and
Halle Berry.
no,
No.
the other black guy.
Oh,
his buddy.
Common.
Common.
Mm.
They're in a airport or train station. or
Train
something.
station.
They're walking by in a crowd, and they're shooting at each other
With silence.
with silenced pistols, and no one knows what's going on.
Oh, you're
And they're
ching.
just shooting at each other, and they're not aiming because they're trying to be discreet.
That's a hint of comedy.
So it is comedy. I love that scene. It's completely ridiculous, and that's how I can tell
Mhm.
which one's 2 and which one's 3. Because you're right, I get confused. He kills so many people.
Yeah,
They all start to blend together.
with gun fu.
Yes.
Yes. I like in the John Wick movies, if you look at like all their art or their the cinematic arts they use. In the first one it was like bluish, John Wick, and there's a hint of blue in the movie.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
second
yeah.
one's a hint of green, and the third one
Oh.
had a hint of purple. I saw a lot of dark
yeah,
purple colors,
yeah.
and that's what they did for
the
the
third movie. Had like an Avengers Infinity War type purple
Yes.
to it.
and not even just the art, but in the movie in the camera style and the cinematography itself.
Mhm.
I see those hints of color. And
Yes,
I don't know.
I love the camera work in the John Wick movies. I love it. I love the campiness that sometimes comes out in the
Mhm.
John Wick movies.
Yeah.
But mowing down like thug after thug, like
in the thousands.
I just kind of get bored after a bit.
I can't get bored of it.
Um,
You can't. I don't see how you could.
I don't know, man.
I think it's entertaining, but again,
It's sorry, I'm sorry. I
no,
can't
you're good. It's one of those things that if you go to see a John Wick movie at this point, you already know what you're gonna get. You're gonna
Yeah.
get someone
Exactly.
mowing down countless amounts of whoever.
I think they're gonna, instead of time on writing, and a storyline,
Mhm.
they're just looking for different ways to kill people.
Mhm.
There's different ways to use knives,
Alright.
guns, and
Come up with 100 ways to kill a dude, and we'll build a movie around
super
it.
obscure ways. Super obscure
yeah,
ways.
Yeah.
I mean, killing is obscure in its own way, but like, I got these those vacuum seal bags. He's gonna put over somebody's head and put a vacuum to it to suffocate him. That's what he's gonna do.
Well, it's gonna be like you seen that short little skit with like living with Jigsaw?
No.
No.
It's where this dude like lives with Jigsaw and it's like, all right, Mark, before you brush your teeth, you have to cross the floor covered in razor blades.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead, it's like living with John Wick, and every morning, you're just getting ready for work, and John's just like in the other room, like bolts are flying through the room, and he's fighting like I don't know 10 or 11 guys throughout the house
and winning.
and winning.
And he's winning.
And all headshots, of course.
Mhm.
And all headshots and what do you call them? Lat drops, or just throw people over your shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Judo throws.
Judo throws,
Yeah.
yes.
Jujitsu throws. Whatever. It's some kind of.
Something he's doing there.
I
I can talk about John Wick all day.
let's
really
let's go around. Let's go around and
Do our thing.
and say our piece on Collateral, and then I think Jonah has a flick for us for the next time we do this.
Mhm.
All right. Do you want to start and then we'll just end on Jonah?
Let's do it. Yeah. So, right off the bat, I'm giving this movie an 8. And the reason I'm giving it an 8 is because I love the characters in this movie. I love the philosophical madness and psychosis that Tom Cruise's character possesses. Like he channels this chilling killer who's also weirdly charismatic. He does it really well. Um, Jamie Foxx's character is really convincing. Right off the bat, in fact, the first words he speaks in this movie are not English, it's Spanish.
Mm.
And I thought that was very interesting. And he plays this character who cares about his job but still has dreams, but is also caught in his own like little world. And you see a lot of that in the same things that he says over and over again. He says the same spiel about the limo company with Jada and Vincent. By the way, the beginning conversation with Jada and Max, I thought the chemistry was so good.
Mm.
I really enjoyed that. There are some things about this movie I don't like. The club scene, I will always be disappointed by that club scene because of how much I've built it up in my mind over the years. But I can't see that club scene the same way again that I did the first time. I think I really liked it the first time, but we live in an era of John Wick, so it's not up to snuff anymore. The camera work, I just found it really messy. I found the camera work messy. I felt like in the picture, especially in the darker scenes, like there's a lot of noise. Like I don't know. It doesn't. Maybe it's a product of its time. I don't know. Because like these days, pictures are a lot more clear, and I didn't like the camera work. I just didn't. It wasn't for me. But that's a small gripe. For the most part, this movie worked very well with me. Yeah. So I'm giving it an 8.
All right. An 8's good, but I have to give it a 7. I'm going to tell you why. We talked about this before. And the first two parts of the movie itself were good. You know, it had a lot of action, got a lot going on for it. And then, you know, we talked about how on the third act, you know, it just started flating for everybody for a good portion until the end, of course. I will go ahead and tell you, and I agree with you on the characters. I like them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how we got to really know who Max is in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then obviously figure out who he becomes at the end. But we don't know who Vincent is in the beginning. And then we learn more about him during the movie and then what he will become ultimately at the end. It was great.
Right.
A lot of things were phoned in, I felt, just like we've already talked for a good amount of time on the club scene, right? And the lack of Mark Ruffalo at the end. I think they just didn't want to pay him that much, I'm assuming. So I am going to give it a 7.
Yeah.
Although there is room in my heart to give it an 8, but I have to honestly give it a 7.
Got it.
I'm going to go with a 7 as well. I really, this is like one of my favorite genres of movies, like the action thriller, or I guess
crime thriller. Maybe?
Yeah, crime thriller.
There's like some cop action.
Yeah,
it's a crime thriller.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite genres of movies. I thought its biggest setback was the usage of Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, really?
I thought if they were going to have his character at all, that he needed to be involved in the third act or like more of the movie throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's either he needed to be included in the third act or more involved in the first two to make the payoff of him dying after the club scene more impactful. Because after he died, it's just like, oh well, there he fucking goes. Yeah, I think his character was pretty unneeded because once Max enters the club, it's like, oh, who's that guy? We've never seen that guy before. And then at that point, they could like go into like figuring out who Max is and realizing that, oh, he's probably not the assassin killing all these people tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's really interesting. I never realized that. Yeah,
I think.
his character makes no difference in this movie.
hmm I think it's.
Zero. Yeah.
I think it's really unneeded, and just the scene where they put him in the elevator together, just for so he could go to the morgue.
Mhm.
That scene also I thought was pretty unneeded.
Okay, yeah.
It was just him piecing things together, but I don't know. I did enjoy this movie. I like this is definitely a movie that I could see myself watching, again, and casually watching, or just like turning on something to watch. Yeah, 7.
All right.
All right, so they give this to an overall 7.3.
I think that's fair. It's very fair.
I think it's fair for, again, like you said, being a product of its time. There's a lot of things that, if it was made today, it probably would be pretty good.
I agree.
You know, there's not a lot of movies out there that are like this, named this and made that way.
Yeah.
Things are, gaudy, nightmares these days. But that's a good way to put it if you think about it that way. It's just a simple crime thriller, which is with a lot of unrealistic things to it, but that's okay.
But also a lot of like little things that make it more realistic.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Mixed bag, a real mixed bag.
The next movie.
Yes.
Somewhere in the same ballpark, with the crime thriller. You can almost say in like the horror section too,
Okay.
a little bit. It's called Cape Fear. It's a
Okay.
remake. This one came out in 1991, starring Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte.
All right.
Here, I'll read you a little synopsis. A convicted rapist released from prison after serving a 14-year sentence stalks the family of the lawyer who originally defended him. Robert De Niro plays the convicted rapist, and the lawyer that defended him was Nick Nolte.
Okay. Cape Fear.
Cape Fear,
What-
1991.
1991. Gotcha. All right.
All right.
You
That sounds
can,
good,
rent it from Amazon Prime or watch it on Showtime.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. So that is it. And I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for listening, whoever did.